Someone help me. Hey, I saw you lifting books. What are they all about?
Yeah, they are my book review wrap up for this year.
Book review wrap up for this year? And how many books did you read this year?
I'm excited. I read 74 books this year.
74 books? Oh, that's awkward. I read 250 books this year.
250 books?
Yeah, sure, you heard me right. 250 books. So please, could you clear off the way for me? You read 74 books, so does that make any difference?
Welcome to P English Literature, a YouTube channel that conveys Amazon, Goodreads, blog, and video book reviews coupled with interviews with authors. It's a perfect channel for book lovers, authors, and writers generally. P English Literature, the exact channel for you and me.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and to my 2021 book review wrap up. I feel so excited talking about this wrap up because it has been so exciting reading throughout this year, and I'm so excited to discuss this particular video. But before I talk about this wrap up, I won't be talking too much about the books. I'm just showcasing the books that these are the books I've read this year. These are the ones I'm looking forward to reading. But before that, I hope you enjoyed my skit. I'm trying my best in making skit videos. So I'll be talking about the books that I've read this year. They made a total of 74 books, and 53 from independent published author, while 21 from non-independent published author. For those people that are watching this video newly, I mostly review books by independent published author. That's what I seem to have this channel dedicated to, because I'm an independent published author of 3 books, and I love reviewing fellow books by independent published author. Though, like I said in one of my previous videos, I'm looking forward to reviewing books by some other famous authors out there. Most of the books I'll be talking about in this video are already reviewed. Some of them are reviewed on this channel, while some are not reviewed. I'll be talking about the ones I have in physical copy first for the independent published books. That's where I'm starting from. Then after that, I will talk about the ones I read in ebook version. Then I can now talk about other books by non-independent published author. So I'll be taking them one after the other. I'll probably tell you the title, the name of the author, and the genre of the book. And if there's anyone I feel like can give some sort of extra discussion on, I would do that. I'm not talking about this book in any particular sequence, just that I'm starting from the books by independent published author paperback version, followed by the ebook version, which I wrote in a list because I don't have all of them offhand. Then from there I'll move into the ones I've read in physical copy. So I'm starting with B-Tech, E from Whom Death Ran. This is written by Masoki Mamasoki, and it's a real life story of B-Tech Bibimia, which is actually the grandfather of Masoki Mamasoki. It's actually an interesting read, and I really enjoy my time while I read through it. Because of my time and the fact that I don't want to make this video too long, so I'll just be showcasing the title, the name of the author, the genre that it belongs to, if I'm still able to recall for all of them. So that's about B-Tech. The next one I'm showing you is the one I recently reviewed, The Chronicle, an Urban Adventure in Time by Steve Bollinger. This is a science fiction novel. It's quite intriguing. It's very deep into scientific research and some other things. What about that? Here I have Why, Reason for Every Action. I reviewed this one in one of my old time video. It's under the genre of motivation, self-help. Yeah, it's a self-help book by Abdul Ghaffar. Talked about that too. Then here I have What It Is Because It Never Was, and What Never Was Can Never Be by Ronan Beauty. It's a poetry collection. It's very intriguing and it's extremely deep. Then here I have Tolu Akiyemi, Never Play Games with the Devil. I think I have a review of this too on my channel. It's a poetry book also, and I have another book by this author, Infinite of Silence. I would probably mention that in my book haul for January, because I think I should start reading that by February thereabout, together with other book hauls. Then here is Curse of the Frog Prince by Madam Crystal Butterfly. Madam Crystal Butterfly is also a booktuber like myself. She's an author and she's relatively new to the booktube. She will also be reviewing books by independent published author. When I get to know about that, I was very fascinated with it. So she's the author of Curse of the Frog Prince, book part 1. I think the part 2 should be out currently. It's a sort of an impressive novel. I can't remember what genre it fell into. Then here, You Are Designed to Be Successful by Freddie Floyd Jr. This is a sort of a spiritual novella, and I think I have 2 books by this author. Then here, Schizoaffective Disorder, A Patient and Family Guide by Guenevere MacDonald. This is a book for people that suffer from schizoaffective disorder. You know, the author actually suffered from schizoaffective disorder, and she wrote a book about it to help other people that suffer from schizoaffective disorder. It is quite very engaging, and when I read through it, it looks as if it was written by a medical doctor. So it's under the genre of schizoaffective disorder or non-fiction. Yeah, I think that's non-fiction. So the next one is A Heartbeat in Danger by Dan Moreau. It's also an interesting novel, quite engaging, and I love it. Then I move to Crescent Moon by K.E. Robinson. This is a crime thriller. Yeah, I remember it's a crime thriller, and it is absolutely fascinating. So that's about that too. Then here, The Devil's Stone by J. Anthony Jenkins and Alex Jaye. I have a review of this on this channel. It's also a crime thriller. Then here, Whither Within by Captain R. Christopher German. It's very intriguing, and I think I have a review of it on this channel too. It's a very engaging novel. Then here is Afterlife the Desolation by Pankaj Kumar Sassini. This is a sort of a mythology, it's a sort of book that expanded into mythology thereabout and some other things. It's actually very interesting too. Then here is Fearless, Conquer the Demon of Mental Purgatory by Shawna Baca. This is an autobiography of Shawna Baca, suffering from panic attack, depression, agoraphobia, until she was cured inside a sweat lodge by medicine. This book is very amazing. My review of this book currently asks the highest number of views on this channel. So it's very, very intriguing. And Shawna Baca is actually an impressive personality. Very interesting novel. Then here it's Rodney DeRoby, Paralyzed Emotion. This is also an autobiography of Rodney DeRoby's experience with mental illness. I have a lot of books under this theme of mental health, mental illness, schizoaffective disorder, and some other things. I love reading books under this channel because they're actually autobiography and they're real life story. I love the emotion that is almost instilled into such books. So that's about that too. Here is A Golden Art Club by Cinda K. Suhali. This is an impressive novel too, and I truly enjoyed my time when I read through it. So here it's Dust After the Manual of the Mage by Georgie de Ramsey. There's a Fox book in the series. I'm not sure Georgie has published a second book series. I look forward to it. Then I have here When Thieves Leave Scars. This is also a true life story of triumph over emotional abuse by Alison K. Dagney. It's also an autobiography of the author's experience with a narcissist husband. Very engaging. Then here is Scarks by Lucas Parks. This is a poetry anthology that mostly details the life of the author. It is very sad, it is very emotional, and it is absolutely fascinating. Oh, sorry. Then here is Shares in Fate by Morayode. This is a sort of an intriguing novel. I was looking forward to reviewing this book. I don't know what happened. It is very engaging. Then here, God's Gift by Freddie Jr. is also an intriguing novel. It's a novella, very spiritual. Then I have Transparent Moment Book of Poems by Nicole Gillespie. I interviewed Nicole Gillespie on this channel some months ago, and her book is a sort of an interesting poetry collection that kept me resonating. Then here is Philosophical Moods and Stuff by Stephen Peter Oldham. It's also a poetry book, very engaging. So that's the physical copy of the independent published author books that I have on this channel. The other ones, I have a list of them. They are the ones that I read in ebook version. So I have number one on my list, I have On the Spectrum Among the Neurotypicals by Omotoyinbo Babatope. This is also a non-fiction novel detailing the author's experience with autism. You know, autism in Africa or in Nigeria, it's something that most people are not aware of. So, you know, Omotoyinbo Babatope wrote this book to detail his experience growing with autism in Nigeria. It is very engaging and it is absolutely fascinating. I love it. I don't want to say too much about it, so this video won't be very long. The next one is Naked by Ifunanya Georgia. That's also an interesting poetry collection I find very intriguing to myself. Then The Black Truth by Olusola. It's also very intriguing. It's a sort of an intriguing short story. It's a short story. I have it too. Very fine. Then Be Happy, Stupid by Scott Evans. This is a very funny novel. When I read the book, most of the things that the author said they counteract my intuition. I was like, oh, I don't think anyone should or everybody should go with this advice, because some are good, some are fine. Some you can utilize it and you find yourself regretting it eventually, while some can be best utilized. Then I have Mania by James Arran. James, I think, is a British poet. And when I read his book, I also find it a little bit nice. It's a poetry collection. Then Lily of the Nile. I checked this on my Amazon review page, but I can't remember the name of the author. I don't know why I can't remember the name of the author. And Legend of the Engineer by Alden Holuta. I think I read close to 3 books by this author. She's also the author of A Life Invented. I read that also. And The Extinct Kids. They're actually short novellas that you can even read in your bedtime. They're very short and I have them read. Then again is The Art of a Rose. The Art of a Rose by Teresa James. It's also a poetry collection that I find quite intriguing. I think I reviewed another one which Teresa James co-authored with Lavan Robinson on this channel too. Then I have Dobro the Bottlenecker by Kevin M. Kraft. I was very intrigued to have Kevin M. Kraft send me his Dobro the Bottlenecker. When I read it, I find it very engaging. It's like a Christian novel and it is very intriguing. And I have another book by Kevin M. Kraft, that's Bringing Down the House. I have it on my shelf. It's far. I would have shown it to you. Then I also read Long Way from Paradise, also by Kevin M. Kraft. So, his novel is very intriguing. I look forward to having an interview with him on this channel, probably January or February. Then we'll be able to see him speak about his book as we discuss it. Then I read A Swing in Heaven by Nitika Sharma. This is a poetry collection by an Indian author, and it is very amazing. One of the things I found in the book, it's a fact that the author wrote it based on a father's death. It was actually a father's death that intrigued her to write about A Swing in Heaven. Then I have Sand in Silence by Ashok Manikok and Beat of My Heart, also by Ashok Manikok. Both books are poetry collection and it is so fascinating. Then I have My Prickly Heart by MacDonald. MacDonald is a Zimbabwe author. He writes mostly under the theme of love, and that's what My Prickly Heart and Everyday's Valentine and probably most of his book is centered on. Then The Wholesome Lady by Spencer John. I also read that, reviewed. I also have 4 Keys to Success by Cassie Bell. I love Cassie Bell's writing, especially his most recent book that I reviewed, Essays from Dysfunctional Families, Literary Betrayal. And I also have a conversation with him on that. You can find it in some of my old time videos where I invited him for an interview and he was able to talk about Essays from Dysfunctional Families, which I find absolutely fascinating. I also read Earth Has Fallen, Return from Darkness, Book 1 by Peter Savido. It's very amazing. It's a science fiction novel detailing a little bit into apocalypse and it is very amazing. Then A Little Poetic by Teresa James. Now, Teresa James' writing is quite amazing. She is the founder of the Author Spot on Facebook. You can find her there. Then Abigail by Damon Marks. It's a nice novel too. It made me know a little bit about sociables, about some sort of things related into spirituality and some other things inspired in it. I have a review of it on this channel too. Then Bella, the Bedtime Butterfly by Loria Wright. It's a fine novella for for children. So if you have kids, I certainly recommend that you get this for your children. Then Brave Me the Forest, also I have it also in a red box here. The Hopeful there also included. Poetic Ecstasy by Lavan Robinson and Teresa James, and A New Day Dawn by Teresa. So that's the list of the ebook version of the independent published books that I read on this channel. So I'll be talking about the other books that are not by independent published authors. I look forward to reading more books in the coming year. I said that already. And I'll be reading books in the genre of philosophy and some other things that I think I'll be able to learn from. Because I love when I'm able to learn from a book rather than just reading it for pleasure. I love books that I'll read and it will give me, understanding, give me more exposure, enlarge my knowledge, and etc. Here, it's Chronicles of the Moon. This is an amazing novel. It is written by Alden Frewin Jones, and it is very huge. It is very huge. I read it, I think, early this year, and it is very fantastic. It's made up of 760 pages. It took me a while to get through it. So I'm mentioning that too in my review. Then I have here an anthology. It's actually an anthology of 4 novella. Firstly, we have A Bend in the Road by Nicholas Sparks. Then The Woman Next Door by Barbara Delitzky. Then Dark Dawn by Ken Follett. Then Long Time No See by Susan Isaac. Very amazing sort of anthology. Then here is There Was a Country by Chinua Achebe. This is a kind of a very popular novel, and I think anyone who is a Nigerian should have read this, and even people that are not Nigerian should have read it. It's a personal history of Biafra written in the perception of Chinua Achebe. The writing detailed what transpired to the civil war in Nigeria, that's the Biafra War, and how the whole issue goes. It is very engaging and very intriguing. It's a sort of an historical book that is good for Nigerian history, and Chinua Achebe did a wonderful job writing this impressive novel. Achebe is one of my most admirable authors. I love his book Things Fall Apart, and his works are very amazing. Often I would refer him as the father of African literature. I don't know if anyone will come up next. Then here is A Psychology of Learning. This is not a novel. It's more or less like a textbook of psychology, and I really enjoyed my time when I read through it. So, about that too. Then here is Tricker's Choice by Tamara Pies. I mentioned this book in one of my old time videos, book wrap-up, so I don't have much time talking about it. It's actually an interesting novel, very engaging. Then I have Jim Brandley's Flyboy. Very amazing book. Oh, I love James Brandley's writing. He's also the author of the first bestseller Flags of a Father. Very amazing book, very engaging. It took me a while to get through it. And James Brandley is one of my, admirable authors. I love his works. Then I have here Garen Jennings, Raptor by Jaren Jenny. It's a novel by the author of Architect, and it is very engaging too. Then here is an autobiography of Norman Wilson Pierce. That's A True Joy of Positive Living. I reviewed this one in one of my old time video book wrap-up, which I found absolutely intriguing. And I love reading autobiographies, especially in a way that you'll be able to learn from it. And I learned from Norman Wilson's story. Very engaging story. Then here is an anthology, 8 stories from history. It's the junior classics, popular edition, and there are a lot of stories inside of it, which I find very amazing. I particularly love the writing style of this book. I love the way the characters behave in the novel. And at some point when I read through it, I underlined some line. I was like, oh, I'm going to get back to this and probably utilize it in my whole novel. Then here is Warri's Way by Andrew Davison, PhD. This book is a book about our president in Nigeria, how he ruled 6th time. In the front cover of the book, the author wrote that, will the 6th democratically elected president of Nigeria succeed or fail? There are a lot of things expounded in this book. It is also something I would recommend for Nigerians who are looking to expound on the history of Nigeria, especially in the theme of their past leaders. because this book is very engaging. It also details some of the problems with Boko Haram resurgency and some of the problems we have in Nigeria, political instability, the leaders have lived on in time past, the corruption, the bribery. Oh, if you read this book, if you're in Nigeria, you will pity Nigeria's history. Yeah, it always happened to Leona. This is children's short novel that I wouldn't really love to talk more about. Then yes, same kind of different as me. I mentioned this also in one of my old time video book wrap-up. Then James Peterson, Susanne's Diary for Nicholas. Very literal. Very literal. I love Peterson's writing. I love James Peterson's choice of words. I love his use of language. It is very amazing. It's actually nice to discover some authors in a way that you'll be able to learn from them. And James Peterson is one of those authors that I've learned a lot from. Then here is Cocktail for Theory by Madine Wickham. Very engaging story too. It's very adventurous and emotional. Then here I have The Antiquities of the Yoruba Nation. It's like a story about the history of the Yoruba, where they emanated from, the real in-depth story, and the sort of gods they serve, and the sort of misconception that they have towards this god to the present religion we have. It is very deep into religion, and it is very deep into the Yoruba culture. And when I read the book, I was like, wow, I never knew such things exist in the Yoruba land. Then here is The Return of the Private Fisher by Robert Fisher. I mentioned this one in one of my old time wrap-up also. Very engaging novel. Then the last but not the least is Dragon Wings by MacDonald. This is a wonderful book. I love the imprint. I love the hardcover version that it is. I love the fact that it's an hardcover version, and it is very amazing. So those are the books that I read this year. They made a total of 74 books, 53 by independent published author, while 21 by non-independent published author. I look forward to expounding more on books by independent published author in 2022, and as well expounding a little bit about books by non-independent published author. And if I should choose a book by non-independent published author, it would probably have to be under the genre of philosophy or a very popular book, in a way that people who have read it will be able to relate with me. Because I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I haven't heard about the books you review on your channel. Most of them are strange, or most of them I've not heard of it. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching my video book review wrap-up for the year of 2021. I wasn't able to cover as much book that I intended to, so I really hope that 2022 will be a very good book. Probably I'd love to double it to 150 books. That's my goal, to read 150 books in 2022. So I look forward to getting that done. And if you're an independent published author watching this video and you love me to review a book, you can reach out to me via an email provided in the description part of this video. That's penglishLiterature@gmail.com. Thank you very much for watching. If you watched to this point and you're yet to click on the subscribe button, I want to urge you to please click on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you can get notified anytime I release new videos. Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas in advance.